mistakes for a man spending taxpayers' money to pay people around him known as advisors. President Ruto is getting into so many mistakes. There are just so many. He went to Embu, there was heckling, and the reports that it was a misadvice. There was a misadvice on what he needed to say in Embu. On Sunday, the president attended a church service in Kayole, and I dare ask, who advised President Ruto to go and donate money in the Catholic Church? Wasn't that too predictable? Even if you wanted to, but wasn't it too predictable? As I talk to you, I have a lot of respect for the Catholic Church. The Archdiocese of Nairobi has declined the monetary donations from Statehouse that the president gave to the Kayole Catholic Church, and of course, the ones that were given there, he's already told the church for that money to be returned to the owner. Now, before we get into those details, I want to humbly request you to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our video. We are at 92,700 subscribers. We are on a mission to reach 100,000, so tumebakisha 7,300. Tunasonga. So kindly subscribe. If subscribing to a channel is free, it doesn't cost any shilling, so long as your email is signed into your phone, your desktop, or your TV, and even your email is secure. We cannot see it in both our front end or back end of our channels. The only advantage is that when we publish videos, you will be able to receive notifications. And I really have a good gift. To Kifika 100, we must do something. Including unveiling our studio that we shall start working on immediately. Returned to the donor. You remember, I analyzed this video and I said, if you listen to the tone of the president while he was giving that money, he gave some 2 million, some 5 million for building church, Father's Church, 600,000, I don't know, for choir, 300,000, I don't know for what. The same day, the deputy was also giving money in Kirinyaga. And what happened was very keen. They're sending a message that he was expecting to meet the Catholic bishop in Statehouse. And then from Statehouse, probably they will take photos and show that they have had a relationship. And in my analysis, I said, if the state tries to reduce these problems to be a church versus state problem, they are wrong. I want us to look at the tone. Let us just take time and read this letter and pay attention to the tone of this letter. It is referenced statement on adherence to Kenya Conference of Bishops directives on political donations to church. Conference of Bishops issued a statement on 14th of November 2024 addressing critical national issues that require urgent attention from the government. This statement was read in all the churches within the Archdiocese of Nairobi yesterday, Sunday, 17th November 2024. The bishops have consistently maintained and a firm stance on the matter of politicians donating money to churches, highlighting the ethical concerns and the need to safeguard the church from being used for political purposes. The Catholic Church strongly discourages the use of church events such as fundraisers and gatherings as platforms for political self-promotion. Well, politicians are urged to refrain from turning the pulpit into a stage for political rhetoric, as such as actions undermine the sanctity of the worship spaces. The church is called to uphold integrity and refusing contribution that may inadvertently compromise the independence or facilitate unjust enrichment. Well, Political leaders are urged to demonstrate ethical leadership by addressing the pressing issues raised by the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops, including political wrangles, corruption, politics of self-interest, violations of human rights and freedom of speech, the culture of lies, issues surrounding NHIF, unfulfilled promises, misplaced priorities, selfish agendas to extend terms of electoral leaders, and overtaxation of Kenyans. The church must remain a neutral entity, free from political influence, to effectively serve as a space for spiritual growth and community guidance. In light of these directives, and in adherence to the Public Fundraising Appeals Bill 2024 under the Section 10(2), it is deemed that any person who solicits or receives or benefits conducts a fundraising appeal, regardless of whether the representative made was direct or indirect. Such fundraising appeals require approvals. These include the President's donation of 600,000 to the choir, PMC 2 million for the construction of the Father's house. These funds will be refunded to the respective donors. Furthermore, the promised additional 3 million for the construction of Father's house, as well as the donation of parish bus by the President, are hereby declined. Politicians are most welcome to attend church for their spiritual nourishment, but they are encouraged to do so as ordinary Christians without leveraging their positions for political gain. Why? Ogopa hawa. Hawa ogopa. Hawa si mchezo. Hawa ogopa hawa. Let me read a couple of some reactions from Kenyans. The illicit money should be returned to the sender or sent to EACC. We Catholics have been building churches, schools, hospitals throughout history by just doing small contributions. We don't want politicians' money. Where? Way to go. I'm so proud of my church and my Archdiocese. The President himself barred all civil servants from fundraising and donating money. Why is he going against the word? Thanks Archbishop and the Catholic leadership for leading from the front. I support the church in returning the donations to the sender. Let him direct all those millions where they are wanted, more like in the health sector. Politics of tokenism doesn't have a space in our country. And internet has blown up by that statement from the Catholic bishops. Thank you for listening to the people. Thank you, my Catholic Church. Well, Ruto can go do his wash elsewhere, not the Catholic Church. I'm a proud Catholic. Thank you, Your Lordship. Wamekata. I'm telling you, things are thick. Things are thick. And I started by saying, from the word go. Hata angefanya. Ruto say angenipatia hiyo pesa. Like now, I have someone who is in Kilifi. Tutamsaidia later in the month. Na, ni cripples. Wanafaa wasaidiwe. Wajengewe. Which cannot do now. But I wish President tulipatia hiyo pesa tuende tujengee wale watoto. There are so many people even stuck in the hospitals. If I show you my message hapa, meja, go and fix SHA so that hii pesa watu let things work out. Now, what is the tone of that letter? That letter has not been written with love. The Catholic letter, the letter by the Archdiocese of Nairobi is not written with love. We cannot lie. The tone of that letter is very clear. The things the Catholic bishops are telling the President. Address the Kenyans' problems. Don't bring us your money. We're not interested in the money. Just address the problems. And they're answering a question that I said, or a matter that I raised, and I said, the more you try to make this be a Dahlia's relationship, a bromance relationship between the church and the clergy, you are actually missing the point. The tone is also very clear. You can come to our church, but don't politic. Come as an ordinary citizen. Hapo si wameenda sana. They want the President to go to the church as an ordinary citizen. Hey, Catholic, like Bishop Nyinyi, Nyinyi, I think I like a meme that says, hii sasa ndo inabamba sasa. Sasa ndo inabamba, I agree. They told the president, come to our church, but no politics. Number 3, respect the constitution. This is one of the calls that I said. And also telling the president, we don't want any meeting. Remember all this discussion about hii pesa yenye Ruto alisema bishops waende wachukue. Hii pesa ile kitu ileta shida wa hii kitu. The issue was clear that he wanted the bishop to go there. The bishops to go to Statehouse. And I'm very sure that bishop who was in that father who was in that church, he received a call and he tried to call, and he called the Archdiocese of Nairobi and was asking them, what should I do? He didn't have any option. I'm telling you, if Oscar Sudi will have the powers to call Pope so that he can impeach some of these bishops here, quite a number of them will be there. But I'm glad the religious institutions like the Catholic is a global institutions, is not within their purview, and they cannot be able to influence. If Oscar Sudi can be able to influence a decision for some of these bishops to be reshuffled or impeached, I'm telling you, quite a number of them will not be in the country. But it's a very delicate balance for them. Ruto gave money in Kayole. Kidiki was giving money in Kirinyaga. I know there is one predictable point that they are declining because of conflict of interest. They raised matters on government. This is not the first time. I don't know whether in the past they've been receiving. Someone can tell us. Before, I don't know. But I still insist. The decision by the president to go there and give that money, it was miscalculation. From my end, it was miscalculation, because what should be addressed is what was raised. And I listened to the discussion between Gadonwa Mushom and Gladys Boss-Sholei. I think that summarizes the argument that was in the Citizen TV today in the morning. Listen to this.
Current government has just decided that political favoritism is the order of the day. And now we are all going to be waiting for the president to come to your constituency for a church service, for you to get a token that you should ideally get through parliamentary budget process. And it is very sad. It is actually a fallacy for a president to stand on the rooftop of his vehicle and look like he was laughing at the people of Soweto because of their road, telling them that your road looks like as difficult as that one of going to heaven. I mean, how can a whole president talk like that? And he's the CEO. He's the one who is supposed to be actually be reprimanding the county government and his government on why this road looks like this. And the money he gave in church, for heaven's sake, it's good to give in church. But I think we are also overdoing. I mean, when you give to one church 5 million shillings, yet there is a small village in Githunguri where we cannot even deliver our milk to the collection center, and we only need that 5 million shillings to do that small road. I mean, something is not right. And I think for me, I feel like we are using our political position to attract following and to subdue other leaders so that we can follow some leaders for tokens and favors. And to me, it's completely out of order.
Part of the sermon by the Apostolic Nuncio was about the brown envelope. One person noted it and spoke about it, former President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Nikimalizia kwa sababu ya mvua, ningependa kwa heshima kubwa sana nikuombe my Lord Bishop nikuletee zawadi yangu saa hii, kwa sababu mimi Mheshimiwa Rais akimaliza kuongea mimi nitatoroka. Mambo ya speed hii na makelele siwezi siku hizi, na nipatia headache. Kwa hivyo mimi ningependa tumalizane mapema ndio mimi nitoke polepole. Sini namna hiyo? Sini namna hiyo? Na nuncio, mi bahasha yangu ni ya white, sio ya brown ile ulikuwa unasema. Yangu haina mambo mingi, ni zawadi kidogo tu ya rafiki, si ndio?
All right, so Deputy Speaker, what are we dealing with here? That you have gifts being given in church and given different names. The President is telling the priest kuja nione Statehouse. Deputy President is anapeana 5 million from the President and calls it Sadaka. I thought Sadaka is actually an offering, which is in secret. You don't announce it. You know, you're now trying to tell me to start interrogating and analyzing people's faith. I think when you give to the church, it is personal. It is between you and your God. So why announce it? No, I'm saying how you decide to do it is personal between you and your God. So it is not for me to start saying, I think we should do it this way or do it that way. I think that is... I'm not asking you at a personal level. I'm asking you as a member who sits in the National Assembly to oversight the executive. These are the leaders of the executive that have said, including the President himself, that fundraising is banned. And that is why Professor Kindiki is actually quoting the President. But then you give in church and you announce it. What is the source of that money? I think you seem to have some thoughts about it. Why don't you explain to us what your thoughts are? Because no. You're trying to make me say what you want to hear. If you don't have an answer, it's okay to say you don't have an answer. Yes, I said it's personal. So that you can make progress. Tithing is personal, and how someone does it, it's how they decide their relationship with their God is. So it's nothing to do with me.
So this summarizes the point. Why did the Catholic bishops decline? What is behind this decline? And remember, government has been saying that if there is a problem, the bishops should seek appointment of the president. No, I don't know why they want the bishops to seek a personal appointment of the president so that they can take the envelope. But hapa iko mahali iko kitu hapa. Let me not tell you. Mtasikwambia kuna konga tuna independence. The Catholic fraternity, did they receive a call from the Pope about this? I remember the Pope also once wrote a letter, also talked about during Gen Z protests, they also raised questions about the abductions and disappearances. But there's so many things are working against the president, and while we have the matters of economy, but that aspect of human right, it's very intriguing, especially church. Watu wamekufa, tunakuangulia hii, wewe hata hutaki kusikia, wewe unaona utupe pesa. Now, the bishops don't want to lose the discussion. And it's a give and take on this one. When you take that money, the discussion changes into the integrity of the church. And the question Kenyans will start raising, how is it that a week earlier, you're raising issues about government and about things that are going on right, that are not going on right, but then you're taking some donations from the same government that should go to El Panjico, which I believe to be proceeds of just platforms of self-promotion. So the discussion should not be lost that Wanjiku issues are on table first. The reason why they declined is they are setting a precedence. And by the way, they are setting the bar too high. That bar is too high that Ole Sapit cannot manage. To date, we still don't understand. There is this puzzle of how there was some election, during the election time in Bomas of Kenya. And after that election, and there were, challenges up and there. But Ole Sapit was from Norway and took charge in praying, and he sanitized all that. So the precedence is on the other churches, and I know Catholics are going to harvest they are going to harvest. Someone is just calling me, Patrick, I'm already shooting. Kindly, Patrick will talk. Catholics are going to harvest because this precedence, I'm not sure it can be set by Roham Salaba down there. The other issue is that tweet by Oscar Sudi that profiled Anthony Muheria. It was a trigger. Let me tell you, ile pesa yenye watu walikuwa napea Kayole church yenye Ruto na Ruto and the team were giving Kayole church, hiyo pesa ni kidogo sana. You know, even by mere an act of refusing to take this bribe, even one member of that church, anaweza toa hiyo pesa na ifanye hiyo kazi, sema turudishe hiyo pesa. I'm very sure even within the church there, so long as this letter shakuja na sema, I'm telling you, even a member of public if allowed, anaweza enda toa hiyo pesa na kata hiyo pesa yao. So those attacks on Anthony Muheria, by the way, it was a bad move, and that is why I'm feeling the president is surrounded by a lot of garbage around him. There is a lot of garbage around the president. How Oscar Sudi decided to pick Anthony Muheria, who did not read any statement and ran with some tribal imagination story, is something that really annoyed. And another issue is tokenism is a tool of silence. And they understand that Kenya Kwanza used tokenism in the last election. So they're just avoiding going down that route. I also realized that they knew that other churches, ACK, had even supported them. Supported Catholics, saying they're right, they need to raise that voice. I think the voice is high. I'm really waiting at how Kenya Kwanza is going to react. Yeah, we have really interesting times in Kenyan politics. Thank you.